Still today, the most commonly practiced and accepted gym doctrine is the classic Arnold 20 sets per body part, high volume approach. The analogous modern dating approach would be get as many matches as you can, go on Hinge, Bumble, Tinder, swipe, 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 look at a profile for a quarter second, and if it doesn't get your attention, hit X. If it does get your attention, boom, try to get a match. Keep going, rack up the matches, message all these girls until ultimately, you message back and forth and your attention starts to kind of wean and oh my God, I got another match and she's actually more good looking. And then ultimately one of you guys ghosts each other and then rinse and repeat the cycle. It sure feels like progress, oh my God, there's all these girls, all this opportunity. After all, if I wasn't on this app, how else would I meet a girl? Like go up to them and talk to them and just rely on random chance? No way. Everybody's on these apps. I have opportunity. It's right there for me. But ultimately, your goal is never reached. But it really feels like you're close. It really does. As most do in the gym. You have this feeling that you're actually working hard, that you're building muscle. But ultimately, you look at yourself 10 years ago and you look at yourself today and you look the same. You're kind of perpetually an intermediate lifter. And well, it's probably because you go into the gym, you do a bunch of sets, you get all pumped up, and gosh, it feels like I'm working hard. I have all these sets to show for it. But when you look back, it's like, did you actually make progress? Did you actually gain any muscle? I still see you curling the same weight you did 5 years ago. I mean, what's that about? If you ask the average lifter in the gym, just give me a rundown of how's your last month of training been? Have you done more reps, more weight? They would probably look at you very puzzled and say, oh, I don't keep track of that. I come in 4 days a week, I get a pump. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, but you never actually reached your goal. It does not matter if you do 10 sets of biceps twice a week. If you still curl the 90-pound easy bar curl for 8 reps 5 years later, your biceps will have made zero progress. It does not matter if you get 100 matches on Hinge or Tinder or whatever, and you have all these girls to show, oh my God, I messaged all these girls. If you haven't been on a date in the last 9 months, then well, clearly you made zero progress. And I kind of like to coin this deceptive progress. Another example in a different realm would be in business. If you can say, oh my God, yeah, I work 12 hours a day, man. Well, if in those 12 hours you sent pointless emails that didn't actually move the needle and you BS with your coworkers and maybe you did 35 minutes of solid work, then did you actually even do anything? Versus the person that maybe shows up to work for 3 hours, they may not get the social applause of how long they're at the office for, but they put in 3 hours of focused, needle-moving effort. They're winning. A few more analogies. Nobody would approach their diet in such a vague manner. I don't know, man. I just I eat healthy. I eat fruit and greens and I heard carbs were bad, so I don't do that. I can't really, I don't track my calories or anything, of course not. But yeah, I just haven't lost any weight. It's yeah, well, no, duh, you don't have any numbers to back it up. You don't, I don't weigh myself either. It's well, duh. Or let's say you're a track star and man, I swear to God, I'm a track star and I run all the time. I run for hours and hours and I do all these marathons. Why am I not getting faster? It's yeah, dummy. You weren't actually putting intensity and focus into sprinting for 10 seconds. You had all this running to show for it, but you weren't actually doing the thing that drives progress. There is a lack of quantitative intention. It's very vague, these dating apps or how most people approach the gym. You do a bunch of sets, you do a bunch of matches. We think more's better, and progress ceases to exist. Versus going into the gym, doing 1 set on each exercise to fully round out the muscle, and going absolutely balls to the wall insanity, utter focus, partials, negatives, you name it, do it. And actually making progress. Sure, do your warm-up sets, whatever, but it's one actual progress working set. And you can look back and say, oh my God, 8 reps, 9 reps, 10 reps, 11 reps, more weight, more weight, more weight. Yeah, muscle follows versus, oh yeah, I just have all these like sets to show and I like still look the same and nothing ever really changed. And how do I know? Because that's exactly what I used to do. I approached the gym with just kind of the classic approach and do a bunch of sets. And if you asked me 4 years ago, like, have you actually made much tangible progress? Can you track your progress? Have you gotten bigger? It would be vague. I would have a lot of sets to show for it. Sure, I had muscle. I was pretty cut up, but month after month, it's like, did I actually change? Did I actually move the needle? But God, I was working hard. Oh my God, I thought I was going to failure. I really thought so, but nothing ultimately on a grand scheme changed. But when I took this on, and you start tying that in with eating more and really trying to build and progress your numbers and really lasering on the focus, even though I literally probably cut my volume by, like 20 sets to like 5 a body part, 7 days a week. I've gone from 200 pounds to 235 pounds in the matter of like 9 months, and progress. And I went from like making like slow gains to like actually getting to like escape velocity. And I think with dating, this is kind of a hypothesis just from real experience. I think if you got off the dating apps, which is something I'm gonna try certainly, and solely put your focus into real world interactions, you speed up the process dramatically. Sure, you may not have all these like hundreds of girls to choose from. You may see some girl you've seen occasionally at the gym, and you go up to her, say hi, get her name, get her number. Holy shit, you already have this real interaction. You've already met in person. You already have her number. It's sped up the process versus being on like an app and you don't even know who the person is, and getting the number, and then your attention wanes and she moves on and you guys ghost each other. Oh my God, and nobody else does it. Nobody does it anymore. Nobody interacts with people. So that already puts you a notch ahead. So, if I have the same success in the gym, I really think dating, it could translate. Then of course you're gonna have your people out there that say, no bro, I can do 4 sets per exercise to failure, trust me, really, really, really hard. Yeah, right, just like you can talk to 4 girls at once and give them all equal attention. None of this guarantees you're gonna become Mr. Olympia or you're gonna find the love of your life and live happily ever after. But I believe you're gonna be on your way. Now, time will tell if this is actually true for me or if I die alone. But at least I have the training bit down, so.